What makes you the autoimmune disease specialist?
So I love that question because here's the truth. And I really want you guys to think this is behind the scenes, honest truth. There are no autoimmune disease specialists out there in reality. Not the way I think about it. Because you're thinking about a comprehensive approach where there's medical considerations and all the natural approaches that's looking at the roots of what's causing this whole tree to grow, that someone who's the master of that, a specialist of that, is truly an autoimmune disease specialist. What we have is a bastardization of that term because you have a lot of people, quote unquote, calling themselves an autoimmune disease specialist, or patients think they're an autoimmune disease specialist just because they're a rheumatologist or an endocrinologist. And the truth of the matter is they're really good maybe at one piece of a pie. So example is if you go to a medical doctor, whether it's an endocrinologist, GI, or rheumatologist, they're the expert on knowing how to prescribe medication or do a procedure around your diagnosis. That is it. They know zilcho about diet, lifestyle, supplementation, or alternative medicine. They know jack shit about it. Okay. That's where, and that's telling you the truth from a medical standpoint. So they're not an autoimmune expert. They're an expert on prescribing medication and procedures. So understand that. Good people, good intention, good training, limited offer. Now, then someone's like, I've been to all these naturopaths and all these functional medicine doctors. I know all there is. I've done it all. What makes you so special? We get asked that all the time. And the thing is that the training of functional providers and natural providers is actually really, to me, very difficult and limited as well. Because the real training, when you look at it, is they get a couple days on each section of something, like 3 days on hormones. I now have done the hormone module. Now I'm a hormone expert. Bullshit. It's not, right? You have to have then it's not just about hormones, right? But then there's what about gut? What about food? What about mold? What about this? What about Lyme? What about that? There's a lot of factors that feed into these triggers, right? And if you think about the typical medical doctor, you might take your own extra money, your own extra time to go get training. Can you get trained functional and natural medicine in all those boxes and do all those boxes well? And the answer is no. It truly is no. And I've gone to these trainings. I've done all these trainings, and I see these docs really struggle. And what they end up doing is naturopaths and functional doctors will focus on a little sliver. I'm the mold expert. I'm the Lyme expert. I'm the hormone expert. So what the problem with that is they're really good natural doctors in that one little sliver, one offer, limited offer. But when you actually go and watch the 5 pillars to transform, you're going to see that there's like a whole pie of things that work together. And not only do each of them matter, but doing them at the same time together works 10 times faster and better. So for me, I guess the lucky thing about it is that I was a family medicine physician before I got sick, and I had 10 years of practice as a functional doc in a functional clinic doing hormone therapy, doing hormone evaluations, doing ADD, ADHD, psych evaluations, doing med evaluations for all sorts of different things, and learning about gut. And I'm older than I look. I'm 52, and I've been practicing at medicine for almost 26 years at this point, of which half of it's been spent not only training as a functional doc, but practicing it and then putting into a succinct model. I've talked to my colleagues who are naturopaths and functional doctors. They're my friends, and I'm one of them, right? But there's a big difference between what they do and what I do in terms of they're all in one little sliver in one little lane, because that's easier than being somebody who's really an expert generalist and good at every little piece to put it together. I'm an integration specialist. I know how to put all these pieces together, and that is my zone of genius, but there really is nobody else that's doing that. And I wish there actually was more people doing that, so that when someone says, I need a functional doc that specializes in autoimmune disease, I wish there was a list of 100 docs to give them. As of the time of this recording, me personally, I truly know in this country, there's really only about 5 doctors that I would say are truly autoimmune specialists of functional medicine. It really doesn't exist. It's actually very rare.
That's crazy. I mean, I never would I have thought that. And I look back to like all the claims that some of my old doctors have made, and it's like, well, like how accurate was that at that time, right? And it makes me feel a little misled, which, you know.
But the thing is, people think like, oh, I'm really good at gut health. I'm a naturopath. I'm really good at gut health. Therefore, I'm an autoimmune specialist because what a lot of people that come in to see me are autoimmune. Not true. Are you an expert in hormones? Are you an expert in nutrition? Are you an expert in blood sugar? Are you an expert in vitamins and minerals? Are you actually also working with clients to change how they think, which is mindset work?
Mm,
Mindset work is a big part of our program. My personal growth work and how it plays out in the program is a huge part of why people get success. So I'm actually very interested in the spirituality, the energy that people have, their thoughts, their language, and how it impacts on health. I'm very interested in how trauma actually has played a huge role in people's current symptoms and what role it's playing now, and how you can intervene in trauma and autoimmune disease. There's got to be deeper awareness and understanding. And in fact, yesterday, Joseph, in one of our programs, we did a whole 2 hour call in a small group going through and talking through and connecting all the dots between trauma and autoimmunity. It's really real.
mm.
And until we actually understand how trauma really impacts upon our nervous system and how our nervous system really impacts upon autoimmune disease and how intervening in that and interrupting that process or healing that process produce results, who the hell is talking about that?
Right. Right.
Nobody is talking about that. And I love being able to share my own personal growth, my own experience, and bring that into this conversation and bring that into actionable plans and items and personal growth for people.
Right.
Yeah.
No, that's a cool thing. Mind is a powerful thing. And, anytime, people focus on mental health these days, it's just, I love hearing it. Speaking about functional medicine, like how important is supplements in your program?
So a lot of people think that's why I don't like that word program. I've done programs before because a lot of what other people, a lot of doctors, or a lot of things people buy around autoimmune disease, they call it program. And what it really is a supplement sales. It's just supplement sales, selling people supplements. And my view on supplements is that they're important, like they are important, but supplements are just green medicine in a lot of ways, meaning that they are trying to deal with some of the symptoms, some of the results of underlying processes that aren't fixed. And so for me, like I am not a program, I'm the opposite. You're not like joining this program to get on Dr. Maggie Yu's supplement program protocol for life. That's really the opposite of what I'm really teaching people. What I really teach and advocate for is what is the root cause that's triggering your autoimmune disease? Okay. How do we use the data for you to know what the cause is? How do we fix the cause so you don't have to take these supplements for life? Is actually my philosophy. Yeah, there's certain things we all need. We all need vitamin D. There's certain things we're going to all need. But everything else around supplementation got to be data driven and got to be also like for a limited period of time as long as you fix the root cause. So everything in this program is the opposite of a supplement program, which is what all these other programs really are.
Hmm.
Is really just selling supplements. So for me, yes, I mean, I think educating people in the program of supplementation is really important. The most important thing that I feel I do is educating people around how to use their data and their education to have educated supplement selection that really aims at fixing root causes so that they don't have dependency on supplements either.
Okay. And so what if like one didn't have an autoimmune diagnosis? Would this program still help them?
Okay, this is gonna like break the internet if this your diagnosis doesn't even matter to me. I actually have done videos around this where the diagnosis doesn't even matter. And I think it's really important because I feel like one of the biggest crucial pieces of time lost for people is that there's a window to intervene. The earlier you intervene in autoimmunity or any chronic disease, the smaller the intervention that's needed, the quicker the turnaround, right? And the more you're actually preventing long term permanent damage, right? But yet, do you know that it takes years and sometimes most people, like 30% of people that I see, never even get a diagnosis. But all their healthcare dollars, all their time is being spent going to specialist to specialist to specialist, trying to figure out what diagnosis it is. And I can tell you right now, there are reasons why, but most autoimmune disease, there isn't even a blood test to diagnose yet. In the thyroid alone, there's 6,000 targets of autoimmune attack. Do you know how many targets we have a blood test for? 3. So what about the other 5,997 other targets of autoimmune attack that we don't have blood tests for? Does that mean you don't have an auto disease of your thyroid? Does that mean you don't have 10,000 symptoms? And are you going to spend the next 10 years searching for that diagnosis that we don't even have a blood test for? Or are you going to end it now? That's the thing, is really the focus isn't on the diagnosis, because it doesn't matter. Like, can you help me with lupus? Can you help me with Crohn's? Can you help me with Sjogren's? The answer is yes. Can you help me if I have ADHD? Yes. Can you help my child with autism? Yes. Can you help my child with pandas? Yes. You know why? The truth of the matter is, the 5 pillars of transform, it's actually the 5 pillars of functional medicine to actually identify the root cause of any medical problem. And my team's probably going to ding me for saying this. I could have easily rebranded this program in 20 different ways. Transform your ADD naturally. Transform your IBS naturally. Transform your hormonal problems naturally. Transform your shitty husband naturally. Like, I was ready to point at you.
Yeah, I caught that one.
No,
Thanks,
like,
Maggie.
no, but like, if you're an alumni and you didn't even come into this program for autoimmune disease, because that's about 30% of people didn't have a diagnosis that comes to this program. The other thing is, so many people have gone through our program, had unexpected results from their ADD. Some people come in, didn't even think they were going to gain weight or lose weight, and they have surprising things. Some people came in because they couldn't sing. They were told Barbara had vocal cord dysfunction, could not sing, and she's a choir teacher in high school. And she didn't come in thinking, I'm going to fix my voice naturally. She's singing again after 10 years of losing her voice. So does it matter whether her voice was autoimmune disease mediated, or is the most important thing is she's singing again? And that's what's important to me. The focus is, we can intervene on any chronic disease using this model, which is the 5 pillars to transform. The diagnosis has no matter to me whatsoever. Which is shocking to a lot of people, because they're like, oh, it's transform autoimmune. Do I have autoimmune? Do I not? Doesn't matter. You got symptoms? You want to stop it? You want to intervene? Yes, this program is going to help you. Yes, this is the approach that you need to take. So that's really like, get away from that diagnosis and really get on with what can interrupt this pattern. And to be honest, those of you without a diagnosis, on your watch and my watch, I hope and know you will not get a diagnosis, is my hope and my know here. So that's how opposite around diagnosis I am compared to other people.
My big question is, can Dr. Maggie be my doctor?
A lot of people ask that. They're like, oh, if I sign up for this program, are you my doctor? I'm going to tell you something, okay? This one-on-one model that you're used to, that I delivered medical care for 20 years in my career, is what isn't working for chronic disease. It's great to get a medication. It's great to get a cast. It's great to get a procedure. It's great to get some blood work. It is not the solution. And so what I've learned was that I'm not going to repeat a pattern that doesn't work. So in the program, I'm not your doctor. I'm actually better. I'm actually your health coach, teaching and training you so that you actually, this is even 10 times better. I'm 10 times better than being your doctor, is that I'm going to teach you how to be your own doctor, to think like me, to have skills that's going to actually transform your autoimmunity and your health for life. That's 10 times better than me being your doctor for a while. I'll be honest with you. What would it be like also if I taught you the skill to actually have you choose with discernment and learn how to collaborate with any doctor that you decide to bring in your circle for life? Like, what is that? That's way better than, oh, I'm dependent on Dr. Maggie as my doctor to fix your 99 problems.
Right. Spot on. I mean, really.
Yeah. So there's a big difference. I'm here to actually really educate and empower people to get to do something completely different and get completely different results as a result of that.
Changing lives.
Let's not repeat shit that doesn't work. And hey, if you need to go in urgent care, if you need to go get a prescription for something or a procedure or something, go see your doctor, right? But that isn't the solution in autoimmunity at all, or complex diseases. Yeah.
Well, it's wonderful.